This week on DeMystiFi, we're going to do our standard three things. First, we're going to check in on how we're doing with our decentralized and our traditional funds. We'll then check out who's winning. We'll put another point on our line graph, see how we're doing there. And for this week, we're going to go a little bit deeper on the largest holding in the DeFi++ section of our decentralized holdings, Chainlink. Okay, over on M1 Finance, we've seen that the fourth week deposits go in, and we're up a little bit. We're at $413.12, $100 a week, all going into VTI. No surprises here. Over on PiDAO, on BCP, the gas prices are bonkers, so this week we're going to be purchasing 0.05 ETH. That'll put us added to the 0.66 we have in the oven. That'll put us above 0.1. So more will go into the pie and be baked in BCP, and I'm figuring after that happens, we'll do a withdrawal on the BCP side because we'll have roughly 200 BCP in there. So I'm going to push this through. And now that transaction's gone through, we see that we have 0.116 ETH in the oven. That's going to be ready to bake whenever the overall threshold goes above 10. And then that will be added to our BCP. We'll get to roughly around 200 BCP and figure after that happens, we'll do a withdrawal to bring that back into our wallet. So let's take a look at a line graph. I've added the line for the purchases we made today. So we've got the VTI price times quantity is our total at just over $400. We have our BCP price, which has gone up significantly, the quantity. So quantity stays the same because we didn't have another baking session. So the same quantity times a higher price is a higher BCP total, and we just deposited more Ethereum into the oven at a higher price there, so we see a total on the Ethereum side. So therefore the total on the crypto side is 510, and our VTI on the traditional side is 413, and we see the graph we're starting to get a divergence, which I'm pleased about, but we are paying. Implicit in these purchases is the gas price on purchase, and when we withdraw, we'll make that an explicit gas withdrawal price. So we are seeing the crypto side break out a little bit. And for our going a little bit deeper this week, last few weeks we talked about BCP, how it's decomposed into wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ether, and the DeFi++, which is then broken down into DeFi plus S and DeFi plus L for small and large. So I think we've got a pretty good overview of how BCP works and some of the fees involved. So let's dig deeper into what are these things that it's composed of. We talked a little bit about wrapped Bitcoin, and that's just a way it's basically an IOU for the Bitcoin chain. Wrapped ETH takes Ether and gives it ERC20 properties, so it can be moved and swapped using things that assume ERC20. And then the next one that I want to talk about briefly today is Chainlink. So it is the largest holding other than Bitcoin and Ethereum as part of BCP. So let's do a little bit of digging deeper into that. I did a bit of research and I have a page of notes. I'm by far not an expert in Chainlink, but I thought there's some pretty cool properties about it. So I'll flip over to this picture, and what Chainlink is a decentralized Oracle network. What that basically means is you can get data into a blockchain system in a trustable way. So there's a billion of these tokens. They're technically not ERC20 tokens. The ERC677, which is backwards compatible with the ERC20, just adds some properties that are necessary for Chainlink to work. And what it basically is on the right side of this diagram, here's our blockchain. It'd be really great to get this data that exists on public APIs, other locations, but there's no native way to get that data in and out. So that's where Chainlink comes in. There's a separate node that would run on another computer and can speak to both of those worlds. What I thought was pretty cool is one of the default capabilities is for it to call any arbitrary API. So if you wanted, for example, weather information and there's a weather API, it doesn't need to be a crypto weather API. It can be any API. And if your smart contract, your smart contract can request a Chainlink node and it's monitoring the blockchain to look for these requests. It then acts as a proxy. It makes the request for the data off-chain and then we'll put it back into that smart contract. the reason for the chain link token, the link token, is to make these requests. So as part of those requests, it sends to the node the link, the price that's set up ahead of time to do this service, and sends it back, puts it back in that contract for later viewing. So that was pretty cool. I thought it was cool that it can be for any API. There's also a lot of additional related functionality baked in. For example, price feeds, that kind of refers to this third line of getting prices of other assets or Ethereum itself. Ethereum natively doesn't know its current trading price, but it has set up a set of these nodes that are putting in pricing information so you can query and get the latest prices of things. And they also have baked in a verifiable random number system. If you need verifiable random numbers as part of your smart contract, you can also request that from Chainlink. So what I've seen so far is they've done a lot of good thoughts about how do we get these different sources of information, how do we get it into a blockchain in a sustainable way, and having a utility token for that purpose, and that's what Link is. Well, that's all I've got for this week. Thanks, and we'll catch up next week.